An 18-storey, 5-star hotel is being proposed for Dunedin. It's going to be in the central city in a car park that's opposite the current town hall. And yeah, I think most of Dunedin is pretty excited about this. One of the spokespeople for the developer, his name is Ken Taylor. He's coming out talking about what exactly the hotel is going to be. He says this, he says, it's a 5-star hotel. It's not in competition with anything else around the city. It's in a class of its own. That's Ken Taylor, who is the project spokesman and also an architectural designer. And Dene MacKenzie, we've got you here today with us, and you are the political editor, but you're also the business editor.
Yep.
$50 to $75 million into the Dunedin economy. Business people must be jumping up and down going, hooray, bring it on.
Well, absolutely, Pat. Look, we've been waiting for a 5-star hotel for as long as I can remember, and boy, I've written some stories over the years about hotels, and now Chris Morris is writing them for the ODT, but there's always a problem. I mean, there are people that just hate the idea of progress, and you'll see them come out of the woodwork now. We all think it's a good idea because it'll employ staff. We haven't got a 5-star, so we lack a bit of accommodation for the top end of the market. We've got 4.5, but that's not what people want. They want 5 and more, particularly for Asian tourists. So it's just got to be good, but there's going to be problems along the way.
The building itself is 200 5-star hotel rooms, 42 apartments, 10 penthouse suites, 2 restaurants and a partridge in a pear tree, a bar, office space, restaurants, business lounge, car parking, and I believe a hot pool as well. So it looks like a pretty cool facility within a few hundred metres of the Octagon.
Well, that's just amazing. I mean, to get a 5-star, you have to have a certain room count and certain facilities, and that was the trouble with the post office hotel. They just couldn't get to 5 just because of the size, I think. And you remember that we had a 5-star proposal for over by the harbour. That was just killed off eventually.
That was 27 stories though.
So
that's a pretty big difference if you're thinking about the impact
and
the shadowing from the. There is a difference between 17, and they're talking about the 18-story actually going into the side of the hill as well. So it might be more like 15. So it's a pretty big difference.
But it still comes down to just below the peak of the spire of the cathedral. So it's going to be a big imposition in the middle of the city. I'm not opposed to it at all. I just find the timing is quite wonderful in the middle of an election campaign. So the Mayor Dave Cole gets to announce all this stuff, just in the last week before election. But hey.
So that sounds like one of those comments. You kind of go, I'm not saying anything, but look, let's have a look at what Dave Cole actually said. Dave Cole said this. He said, in the long run, if the hotel gets built and it's of a substantial size, you get maybe $1 million a year in rates. You wouldn't have got that if the hotel didn't go up. One of the reasons he's talking about the money is because they're stumping up 50 grand for the geotech, and there are going to be some complaints about that. But he's going, look, we are risking 50 grand, but we may get back $1 million a year in rates. So I actually agree with him. If that was my business decision, I think it's not a terrible one to make for the council. But look, I'm a fairly recent migrant to Otago. Been here for a few years now. I have to say, coming from the outside in, it's exactly what Dunedin needs.
Oh, no, absolutely. I think the council's right in this case. I mean, sometimes I'm a bit anti the council spending money into business when it should be looking after other aspects of community life. But this is worth the money. This is worth the effort. And they put a bit of effort into getting the waterfront hotel going too, and that didn't work out in the end. But you've got to try these things. You just got to go for it.
And let's just actually in the ODT itself, let's bring up that last quote screen there, Tim, Q5 I think it is. You can actually see that there's the building itself. I mean, I'm a big believer in keeping the historic parts of a city historic. I love it when you go through old parts of cities and you can see beautiful old building stuff. But I don't think also we therefore have to match everything brick for brick to make it realistic. I quite like the look of that hotel. I think it would sit okay in that area. I mean, to the left of it, if you're looking at it, is going to be Octagon and the town hall. To the right of it is going to be warehouse type businesses, as in warehouse buildings. So I think that's fine. I think it works. I really hope that the wowsers, my word, don't get involved and knock it back. Because as I said, I think it's exactly what this city needs to move into the next step of its evolution.
Absolutely, yep, totally agree.